everybody. It is Self-Care Sunday. How are you doing tonight on Self-Care Sunday? Tell me about your day. Yes, you. I want to know. Welcome, everybody, to Self-Care Sunday. Hey, Adele and Dazzle are here in first. Was it Dazzle before Adele, Adele before Dazzle? I can't, it's a photo finish. Welcome to the program. How are you doing, Adele? Jennifer, with the flower sale. The flower is on sale in Florida. The flower pantry is restocked. How about the butter freezer? How is the butter freezer? How are you guys doing tonight? Welcome to Self-Care Sunday. Tell me what you are grateful for on this Sunday night. I'm grateful to have you all here. I could do without the snow we got today. It did not make my Sunday. I had to shovel again. I was out there shoveling. Clearing off the cars. Some of you would say that's pretty. Dazzle is napping. It's a hard knock life for Dazzle. Max is watching my peanut gallery eat. Uh-oh, the butter freezer is almost depleted. Do I need to call in the National Guard, Jennifer? I can call in the National Guard. I have people. We only got a few inches today, Adele, but it was an all-day, like, rainy snow. We got like 15 inches the other day or so, and today we got another 2 or 3, but it was an all-day, just like rain snow that, and it accumulated. But it made people not want to be out and everything else. So whatever you need to get the butter through, Jennifer, the butter and the flour, to free the cookies and the cakes, we are there for you. We will not let them be held hostage. I was worried. I saw the special. Well, it is Self-Care Sunday, people. We're supposed to get warm by Christmas Day, Adele. So we're supposed to warm up to around 50 on Christmas Day, and actually supposed to have a rainy Christmas. So it's going to be between the melting snow with that and the rain. Then we'll have other tree issues. The roots will come up or something. Who knows? I try not to overthink it. The generator's got gas. It's in position. We have extra gas. And we just hope everything is good with that. But I'm glad to have all of you here on Self-Care Sunday. I'm glad that you are doing well as we head into Christmas week here, as we kick off week 41 and 42. 41 and 42. We are of this. You guys are doing it. You guys are rocking it. You knocked week 40 and 41 out of the park. You're now on week 41 and 42. You're amazing. You're only supposed to be 54 on Christmas? That's a little chilly for me. But we'll take 50, although I don't like the rain. But I think we're planning a movie marathon for Christmas Day is what I think I heard. That's what my peanut gallery says. We're having a movie marathon on Christmas Day. So we will be cuddled up on the couch. We'll have the fire going. And we'll be snacking our way through Christmas Day. And not having trying to not have too many cares that day. It's sort of the goal, I think, of that day. That is so far away. We have so many days to go. You have so many shopping days to go. Hey, Molly, I owe you a reply. Don't worry, you got a reply coming to you. Probably tomorrow. If not Tuesday, I will catch up with you, Molly, and circle back on your question. You are amazing for getting through this. We're all getting through, people. I love you all. Let's get this started with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. Every night we reference this book. Our friend Lin-Manuel Miranda, who we are less than 6 degrees of separation from. He may not know who we are, but we know who he is. And Molly, how is Eric? I heard he had a birthday recently. That's pretty cool. Well, that actually brings us to our Good Morning, Good Night. That's actually perfect that Eric had a birthday. Our Good Morning tonight is on page 38. If you are following along in the book, we are on page 38. Good morning, you magnificent slice of perfection. Yeah, you. Hey, Julie Jankowitz, how are you? Great to have you here tonight. Well, tonight is Self-Care Sunday, people. Self-Care Sunday, and we do every Self-Care Sunday. We have the recipe of the week, and this week's recipe, straight from the Best Friends Consignment Cookbook. The Best Friends Consignment Cookbook. We have beefy mac and cheese casserole. Beefy mac and cheese casserole. This called out to me. Eric turned 50. How about that? Happy birthday, Eric. Tonight's Good Morning, Good Night is dedicated to you, Eric. Yes, it is. Beefy mac and cheese casserole is the recipe of the week. You can find that at narts.org/resalestrong, REC, where you can see all the recipes of the week. All of them. All 40/41 weeks. You can see them all there. The whole collection. You can cook your way through your flour pantry, through your butter freezer. You can find it all right there. But why do we have Self-Care Sunday? Self-Care Sunday is so important because it's a day for you. Okay? It is a day for you. It doesn't have to be Sunday. I know, I get the mail from you guys that says, I can't do Sunday. Sunday's the day I have to cover the store. I don't have anybody else. And that's okay. It can even be, you can take half day Tuesday and half day Thursday. That's okay. The important thing about Self-Care Sunday is that you find time every week to take time for you. Okay? You have to take time for you. Every week. Every week you have to take time for you. Okay? It is so important because this is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay? This isn't just a quick sprint down the ski slope. This is a marathon. This is a long haul, people. The end is still off in the distance. So you need to pace yourself. And Self-Care Sunday allows you that pace. That time to take a breath in. Just let it out. To let it all out. To chill on the couch. To watch a movie night. To sit back and read the paper. Whatever you want to do. Okay, that is taking care of you. And the recipe part of this has become such an important part because we bake and we find comfort in food. So take that comfort, okay, and enjoy that, and it's really important. So I want you to have your Self-Care Sunday. It is hugely important. Don't forget that. And you can find all the recipes for Self-Care Sunday at narts.org/resalestrong. REC takes you right to it. Right to the recipes. Hey, Kelly's with us. How about that, Kelly? Welcome to the program. How's things in Albuquerque? It is great to have you here tonight. We got a lot to cover tonight. We've covered Self-Care Sunday. We covered I'm organized tonight. I have my list. If you did not catch it, okay, I've posted a lot of stuff today. If you recall, Andy in our community, I challenged you all. Andy in outside of Toronto did good by his community in Toronto by giving a discount on his barber services if you showed a receipt from another local business. You came in with a receipt that you spent money in another local business, you got $5 off your haircut. $5 off your haircut. Inspired us, inspired our organization, inspired our community to Andy our community, okay? And we did that. And we, some of us gave $3 off, some of us gave $5, some of us, I was the $2 bill guy because I wanted people to take a second look at their local community. And it is through that we remind people how important their local community is. It is insanely important in our local community. But Andy has been hurting because he's been closed for weeks now because Toronto's in another lockdown and he's not essential. And while Canada has been truly amazing, I mean truly amazing at what they have done, truly amazing in all that Toronto, that the country of Canada has done for small business, Andy's a new business. Andy's a new business. He's the new guy on the street, and he doesn't qualify for a lot of the aid that is available in Canada. So as good as a job as Canada is doing, Andy falls through the cracks because he's a new business. So if you want to support Andy and believe in what Andy's done, you can do like I've done. I bought a gift card to Andy. I actually included Andy's email on. I just want him to pay it forward, which he already does. He does so much to pay it forward and give haircuts to those in need as well. So that's what I told him to do with my gift card. And I told him that we were part of NARTS, and that's why we did it, because he helped us. He inspired us all to be better people in our community. So that link is in the NARTS private Facebook group tonight, and it'll be over on narts.org/resalestrong by noon tomorrow. So if you want to help Andy, I did it today, and my peanut gallery did it tonight. So we've doubled Andy, our household. We got to make sure Andy makes it to the other side. And we want to keep him inspired of all the good that is in the world and all the good that is in our communities. And I get to Canada, so sometimes, this hair doesn't just make itself. So I could go and get my haircut by Andy, and Carlos won't feel jealous. And I can see if he could keep up with this do. The next time I am in Toronto. It's actually a place that I'd like to take the family on vacation, is to Toronto, because it is such an amazing city, and has such a vibrant arts and theater district, and there's just so much going on there in normal times. I would love to take the family there on vacation when we are able to. And I've driven there. I've flown there. I've driven there. One of my weird flights is from Toronto. So one of my weird flight stories is from Toronto. If you follow my stories of weird flights. One of my, just to entertain you slightly, one of my flights from Toronto, and I have pictures of this and everything else, we all get loaded up on the plane, and we're on a little plane and everything, and the co-pilot comes out, and he says, "Sorry, folks, there's not a flight attendant on this flight." And I'm like, okay, it's a relatively short flight. And but he's like, "If you need anything, You just come up here and tap either me or the pilot on the shoulder, and we'll help you out. We'll get you whatever you need. I'm like, nobody needs anything. You just freaking fly the plane. And that would have been fine enough, except for one of the people decided to get up and wanted to go tap them on the shoulder. I told the guy to sit in the seat. He didn't need anything. He needed nothing. But Toronto's an amazing city, and we want to see Andy survive, not only survive, but thrive after this. So when Toronto reopens. So that is what I did. If you can support Andy, that's great. Yes, that did happen, Julie. It's not that my stories are crazy, okay? It's that it really happened. Okay, they had the cockpit door open and everything the whole time. I have pictures. I have nobody believed me except for that I had pictures of all this stuff. And it's true. Okay. Well, I will drive you to Canada. I will drive you to Canada. All right, I have not seen that Shopify review video where they say you're not alone. See, they tune in tonight too. They tune in. So I want to talk for a moment about the virus, okay? Because what's now... Hey, Rose, I'm glad Saturday was a busy sales day for you. That's awesome. I am thrilled to hear that. We had a decent Saturday. Sunday would have been better had it not snowed. But there's tomorrow. There's tomorrow. That's the great thing about the roller coaster we're riding. Woo! Woo! We are on a roller coaster, and so tomorrow will be better. That's okay. It's okay. And I am thrilled for you. So, there's a lot in the news and in social media. And if you look at your death scroll of social media, okay, there is a lot of both positive and negative about the vaccine. I would never take a vaccine. I'm going to be first in line for a vaccine. Who should get a vaccine? Who shouldn't get a vaccine? There is endless news about it. And it's hard. I generally believe the science on it. I believe as fast as they rolled this out, it is pretty amazing, the vaccine, and that we are better with it than without it, okay? Not that there aren't people that will have a reaction to it. You can always find people that will have a reaction to it. But if more people get it, the better we will. One of the things that I found interesting is that, do you know who helped conquer polio? Who is credited as one of the great conquerors of polio? And it's not the vaccine in and of itself, okay? Polio was an awful disease. It's all but essentially been eradicated here in the United States. It still affects the world, and it's one of the things the Gates Foundation is working on around the world to help eradicate in other parts of the world. But in the United States, it's all but in essence gone. Do you know why it's gone? Do you know what was a turning point in the polio vaccine looking back? And things become clearer when you look back. So when you look back and you say, what is a pivotal moment in the rollout of a polio vaccine? Okay, when people said, oh, that's for babies, I don't need to get vaccinated. Okay, that's for little kids, that's killing kids, I don't need to get vaccinated. I'm an invincible teenager, or I'm an adult, why do I need to get the vaccination? And there was a turning point in it. So if you look back in the news, you can find all sorts of things. But there was one turning point in the polio vaccine. And it wasn't the vice president getting the vaccine like we saw the other day in the United States. Okay? You still have a scar on your arm for the polio vaccine, Rose. Well, do you know what the turning point was? It was somebody getting the polio vaccine. Somebody got the polio vaccine. Hey, Vina, great to have you with us. Thank you for supporting Andy. I appreciate that. I'll give you a clue. Some person was on the Ed Sullivan show, okay, and got the polio vaccine on the Ed Sullivan show, live on TV, because back then there wasn't DVRs, there wasn't all this on tape, okay? This person got the vaccine, the polio vaccine, live on TV, and that changed everything. And it wasn't Rose. I'll give you a clue, it was not Rose that got the vaccine live on TV. Any guesses on who that might be that got the vaccine live on TV that changed the course of the administration and people willing to take it? Okay, and the New York City Health Commissioner gave it. Who would be on Ed? It wasn't Ed Sullivan, I'll give you that. It wasn't Rose. Okay. Well, a polio star was born when the flashbulbs went off. That may have made him look blue. Okay, and flashbulbs back in that day. Yes, back then, a 21-year-old Elvis Presley got his polio vaccination live on TV. Okay, there he is getting the vaccine live on TV as he was coming on to promote what song? This was his second appearance on the Ed Sullivan show. And then he went on stage to wiggle, wink, and wail. Hound dog, love me tender, and don't be cruel. So don't be cruel to your community. If you're eligible, when you're eligible, help your community, and don't be cruel, and get the vaccine. That was Elvis's message, and it inspired the youth and other people who followed Elvis to follow along. So it changed the course of things, and especially in that teenage and older age group, because they really looked at it as a baby vaccine. Adults, teenagers are invincible. We don't need the vaccine. Adults don't need it. This is to save our kids. But it was everybody getting it, and Elvis became the poster child for it. He went on to do fundraisers for the March of Dimes. He went on and on. He drew a roster of Hollywood celebrities to the cause, including Eddie Cantor, Bing Crosby, Rudy Valley. Early in her career, she talked about it before the vaccine. Nancy Reagan was even a part of it. Yeah, I mean, it's not for all the imperfections that are in the news about it, and you can always find something wrong with everything on social media. Elvis said it was good. I'm not sure Fauci getting it. He's pretty much a rock star at this point. The good outweighs the bad, I believe. That is what I believe, and it does us all good to be there. Hey, Kitty, great to have you here tonight. But Elvis is greatly credited with driving up vaccination rates, because vaccination rates were incredibly low prior to that in this country. And the fact that he did that is amazing, and is the kind of leadership we need now moving forward. So when you're eligible, I don't know whether retail workers are going to be prioritized or not. I know the National Retail Federation submitted language to the board deciding on prioritization of groups of people. There's a lot of unknown, but the doses are coming out. It is good news that the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are both out there, that they are essentially equally as effective, and it is good for all of our communities. Hey, Kitty, don't worry about being late. It's great to just have you here. We're great to have you show up tonight. Adele might like that you were a little later because she made it in first tonight. Adele made it in first, so there you go. So the other thing to talk about tonight that everybody wants to talk about is the new stimulus bill out of Congress, which they say they are all in agreement on. They are, but they aren't, is what I am here to tell you. I am telling you that until they vote, they're not all in agreement. I am very encouraged that they have all gone on TV tonight or released statements that the leadership in Congress is saying we are all in agreement on this bill. And I have seen so many drafts of this already today, okay, it would make you dizzy. And so I am very encouraged by it. Very encouraged by the bill. So here is what I can tell you about the actual bill. Based on what I know now, Rose, to answer your questions about will things be better for retail by the third quarter next year, I think so. I am very optimistic on that, and here is why I am optimistic. Say the tail end of third quarter or middle of third quarter is that the goal is to have everybody back to school and back to work in the third quarter. So if kids are going back to school and their parents aren't their teacher and lunch lady, their parents can be working. If their parents can be working, they can be in offices, or they can be going to meetings, or they can be doing things. And if all that is happening, okay, and even for all the advances of Zoom and everything in the virtual, we strive to touch, feel, and for the business company, the big company that cuts their business travel and says we won't travel again because we have Zoom, they will start traveling again once they get beat by a competitor that shows up in person. So as people's kids get back to normal, they will get back to normal, the business community will get back to normal, and retail will get back to some sense of normal. So I am encouraged by that. And based on the numbers I'm seeing, vaccinations, etc., I would expect that forecast is pretty upbeat and positive and doable. As far as what Congress is doing right now, here's the gist of what's in the draft. And here's what you need to start preparing. Okay? Because there's stuff that you need to do with this. So in the drafts that I've been reading, there are a few things that directly affect us. First off is the extension of unemployment benefits. If people still have money, they can still shop with you. That's a positive. We don't want people on unemployment. We don't want people on long-term unemployment. But we really don't want people to have nothing. And so they're going to continue to get unemployment benefits for another 11 weeks. That's a good thing. Okay? That they're not out in the cold. Okay? In this winter. And they'll be getting an extra $300 a week with that. That there's going to be direct payments to families. Anybody that got a $1,200 check per person or a portion thereof is going to get a $600 check or a portion thereof, is the short version of it. The business stimulus, there's going to be another round of the PPP. Okay, you are going to be eligible for another round of the PPP if you can show that your quarterly sales during any one quarter of 2020, were down by 30%, you'll be able to get a second PPP. Okay, so what you need to be doing for that is getting the easiest paperwork will be quarterly sales tax returns or the sales tax returns for the quarter, because you already submitted those under pains and penalties of perjury. So your bank and the SBA will process those the same. Your bank may require an additional report out of your inventory system showing that, but sales tax returns is the real kicker, comparing the two quarters. So if you take any quarter that you're down 30% during 2020, any quarter, and you have the same quarter from 2019, your bank is going to want those records to get you approved for a second PPP. Lastly, and most importantly, is if you got a PPP, or not lastly, I got one more thing after that. If you got a PPP under $150,000, you will be able to apply for Streamline Forgiveness on your first PPP and ultimately your second, okay, which will require you to hold your arm up and swear that these statements that you're signing to are true under pains and penalties of perjury. It will also require you to still keep the documentation for a period of at least 3 years. That proves that you spent the money correctly. Not a heavy burden on anybody, okay? Because you have to have the paperwork anyways to apply for the current forgiveness. So the Streamline form, which is very good, that you stand up and say, yes, I used the funds appropriately, will be huge. It's huge for banks. It's huge for you. It's huge for everybody. Lastly, as part of that, the PPP, the money that you received on the PPP, okay, will not count as income to you, and you'll be able to count the expenses that you use the PPP for. So, as business expenses, because originally under the rulings you were allowed to not count it as income, but you weren't allowed to count the expenses. Under this proposal, under the drafts that I have seen, again, until it's actually voted on, this is just a draft. Keep that in mind. A lot can happen in Congress between draft and done. But under this draft, you will also be able to not count the PPP as income, either time, first or second time, and you'll be able to count the expenses both times. So this is a huge win. What's not in the bill? Well, what's not in the bill is protections for businesses from lawsuits causing COVID-19. Okay, so you can still be sued. You can still be sued, technically sued for causing somebody to get COVID-19. It is unlikely that anybody that's watching my program is going to be sued for that. It is very, very unlikely. Okay, they're after the big guys with this. Okay, they're after the meat processors. They're after the Walmarts. They're after all these other people with it. It's still a bad thing because you can get COVID freaking anywhere. I mean, that's just the reality of it. So I would like liability protection. The other thing that's not in this is monies for cities, towns, and state governments that are desperately in need of money, and they will have to go to the well in a down the road. But additionally, the other bill they're passing is to actually fund the government on a real budget through the end of September, which is huge. Okay, the government keeps on kicking the can with continuing resolutions and such to fund the government rather than doing a real budget bill, and so I am thrilled that they're passing a real budget. So the draft of everything that I have read, and it is literally, it's like a stock ticker, okay? I mean, my peanut gallery compared it to, is your stock ticker of the bill draft on your screen while you're talking tonight? And it literally, that's the kind of thing. I'm seeing it as they type it. And so the draft is good. I think most of the things that affect us are going to stay the way they are in the drafts that I have read. The great thing is a lot of banks are ready to pounce on this. Okay, they are ready to enact this. A lot of banks, as soon as the form where you stand up and hold your hand up is ready, they're ready to process it. And they want to process it quickly because a lot of banks still want those original PPP loans off their books by the end of the year. So that is why banks are looking for that, okay? Keep in mind with the PPP, even if you have this Streamline Forgiveness, if you got an idle advance and you got a PPP, you will still owe the idle advance. The idle advance is separate from the idle and is separate from the PPP, but if you got a PPP, you will owe the idle advance, even after automatic forgiveness. But this draft is really, really good and really strong for small business. And really very community oriented. So banks are looking to do this. They're looking to get the automatic forgiveness, streamline forgiveness. Automatic forgiveness is a bad political term. Streamline forgiveness, okay, done on these loans, $150,000 or less. And they're looking to then have these PPPs, the new PPPs, show up on their books right after the first of the year. So the banks are really gearing up to get this done. So start getting your paperwork ready to be able to do that. Okay, again, you're going to need your quarterly sales tax returns is going to be the biggest thing they ask for, based on the current draft that I have. To show that you are down 30% during any one quarter of 2020. As long as you show that, you're in the zone. You're in the zone. And that's what it's all about. So because that is going to be huge, because even though we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, we see the light with the vaccine. I see the light. Okay, there are dark days ahead for business. There are dark days ahead for our hospitals. There are dark days ahead for our communities. But the light is there. The cavalry is coming with the vaccine. There is good things happening. Okay, but there are dark days that we still have to travel a dark path to get there to the light. So just know that with me as we travel this. And we will all get there, okay? We are, it was really brought to light to me today how well we as an industry, okay, if you take our subset of an industry, we are retailers, we are hospitality. If you take our subset of an industry, we are doing better than other subsets. The resale industry is doing better. And it's not just because we sell you stuff, not because people cleaned out during the pandemic. It's because we are an integral part of the community. It's because we have seen this path together. It is because we are walking arm in arm through this to get to the other side. We're not walking 2 by 2. We're walking arm in arm, okay, through this to get to the other side. And by doing that, we're going to get there. We're going to get there to the other side. I promise you that. Well, you know, this video and everything I talk about here, okay, even this draft, goes over to narcs.org/resalestrong by noon the next day. Noon! The very next day. It's all over there. Including the recipe of the week for Self-Care Sunday. You have it all there. The Resale Strong cookbook is right there at narcs.org/resalestrong. There's also a link to this video, and everything that I talk about is right there. A link to the YouTube page. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and you can ring the bell so you know when a new one drops. You are right there with me. Yes, you are. You are doing something right, Rose. Yeah, I appreciate you watching and tuning in every night or catching the replay. But the videos are also there so we can share with everybody in your community, every business owner, regardless of what business they're in. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, Andy the barber, whoever it is. We want to help everybody get across the finish line. And that is what we are here doing. We want to help everybody in our community get across the finish line. I am here every night in the Narcs private Facebook group at More 8 Than Ish live in the Narcs private Facebook group. If you have a question in between, you just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. Congress should start every day with this book. I'm just telling you, their day would be better. Our Good Morning tonight is on page 38 if you're following along in the book. Good morning, you magnificent slice of perfection. Yeah, you! Our good night tonight is good night. You generous helping of flawlessness. I'm looking at you. There's your graphics tonight. Nice big slice of cake, probably straight from the flour pantry. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a slice of cake, a wedding, a bar mitzvah. I don't know when we'll party and have cake again together, but when we do, I will be there with you. Until then, know that you and you, but most importantly you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. I'll see you tomorrow night, everybody. Have a great night. It's time for dessert.